So right before CGC raised their prices most recently, I submitted several orders. Well, I just got back in another order and I'm super excited about it because I just got notified from by CGC that they charged me more for one of the books, meaning they raised it to a different price level. And in this case, it would have been to the high value level, and I'm super excited about it. So stay tuned as I get into this box and we find out what books did I submit and what grades did I get. Welcome back, comic book fans. It's Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and as I said before, I am super excited about this CGC unboxing. I've got some nice keys in this, and I hope I did really well on the rest of the books, but I know that there's one big book in here that got raised up to a higher tier, and if it's the book that I think it is, it's going to do really good. And I will give you a heads up that I am not going to be talking about prices today, because I don't have the information in front of me, but what I'll do is as we go through the video, after I get through the editing, I will put it up on the screen, what the values were at the grades that I get on these books. So let's get right into this. I am super excited. I've got the scissors, I've got the box. Look how big this box is right here. I'm telling you, the last CGC unboxing I did in one of the previous episodes, it was 5 books, and it was a much smaller box. Well, this one is only a couple books more, but it is a much bigger box. That's telling me they probably put it in one of those new bubble wrap enclosures. So let me get into this. If it takes too long for me to get in, I will fast forward. All right, that took longer than I expected. Let me put this on the floor. All right, guys, it is one of those definite big bubble enclosures. Actually, it's several. They put one, I think, in this little one right here. And if that's the one I think it is, I'm going to keep it separate. We'll do that last. But here are the rest. So let's start with these, and then we'll go to the other box. And let's turn them over so I don't see the grades. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. I'm looking at the book, and it's not the book I thought it was. I don't know which book it is at this point. I could be wrong. Maybe they just stuck the good one here, and then they just had another one in one of the other ones. So I see the book. I think that is the one they raised it on. So I'm going to put that by the side. Let's do some of the other ones right here. Gotta have a little suspense in the show, right, guys? All right. First up is a book that I had recently just got picked up, got graded, got 9.8. I actually sold it because it's a pretty valuable book as a 9.8. And I picked up another copy from Infinity Comics, Vengeance of Bane, #1. This is the first appearance of Bane. This was a really nice copy. It is a square bound, and it had a little issue, little crease. Very tiny over there. That was the only defect, and I did press this very lightly. I don't have a lot of experience pressing square bounds, but I'm learning, and I was very careful with this, and I'm hoping we do pretty good. And again, I will put values up afterwards with whatever grade that I get. So let's start with the Vengeance of Bane. Ooh, yeah, we got 9.8. I know I chose these books specifically for their values. Even 9.6s I think have some pretty decent value, and that's why I didn't put a pre-screen on this. Man, that's pretty good. Let's take a quick look. And it's funny, this is a Chuck Dixon book, and I was just talking about Chuck Dixon in my previous CGC unboxing video. Yeah, it's awesome. 9.8, Vengeance of Bane. Beautiful. That is a great way to start. All right. Next one up is another one that I'd actually done the exact same thing. I'd picked it up from Infinity Comics, kept it in the PC for a little bit, and then I ended up selling it for a good price because that 9.8, again, is a very valuable thing. I will, again, put the prices on the screen. We've got Batman, Harley Quinn. This is the first time Harley Quinn is in DC continuity right there. And you've got this absolutely stunning Alex Ross cover. And to be quite honest, if they were doing an Alex Ross signing again at CGC, this is the book I would send in. I can't think of the things I got signed before were fantastic. I loved them, but I didn't have this book at the time, and I would have loved to have gotten this one signed by Alex Ross. But let's see how we did. Yes, 9.8. And this one was another square bound, but it was already in really good shape. I picked it up from Infinity Comics auctions on hipcomic.com. And yeah, it looks nice. There was no defects on this book. Awesome. Awesome right there. Man, that is fantastic. Love this. All right. This is one that will not be a 9.8. It's probably the oldest book in this modern submission. But it was one that, even at lower grades, and definitely it's going to be lower. I hope it doesn't go down below a 9.0. It definitely had some defects. It is a great book. I love the cover. And it is a pretty good first appearance by this character. It is All-Star Comics number 58. First appearance of Power Girl. Beautiful Mike Grell cover. This was a decent copy I had. I had a couple of these. The last one I got was a 9.0. I don't think this one was any better, but let's see how we did. Ooh, oh man, I'm taking a bath on this one, guys. Oh, because I know what I paid for this, and that was a couple years ago when prices were definitely higher. I will check out the Grader's notes on this stinker right here. Boy, what did I miss? Oh my God. How is that a 7.5? Oh my God. Well, we'll figure it out, and we'll see if there's a way to rectify it. I don't know, but that's awful. Oh my God. Let's put this away. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that right there. Guys, just ignore that. We did not see that one. All right, we've got another really good book. I don't know if this would have been a 9.8, but it was a really decent copy, and it still has values at 9.6s and 9.4s. 9.4, I think we're going to end up breaking even. 9.6, I would still do pretty good if I was going to sell it. It is the first appearance of the Deathstroke Determinator. Teen Titans right here. I thought this was a pretty decent book, but there were some defects and creases on the edges that I didn't think. I was having some trouble with them, reversion a little bit, and I thought it was good, but we'll see. Like I said, I don't think it was going to keep a 9.8, but we'll see how we did. Okay. This is a book. It's going to get sold. I've already got a 9.6 somewhere. It's actually sitting back here behind me somewhere. That's going to stay in the PC. 9.4 will definitely get sold. It's definitely available. It's still a good grade. It's still near mint minus, right? Maybe we get too hung up on always getting 9.8s. It was a good book. I took a shot on this one. Didn't quite meet it, but if I can sell it, I probably will break even by what I paid for the book and what I paid for grading at this point. Again, we'll put the prices and everything over here. All right. Let's ignore that one too a little bit. We don't have to ignore it completely. All right. I'm actually going to... I still got the really big book right there. Let's open up the little one right here and see what they put in. Oh, there's 2 books in there. Hey, there's 2 books. All right. Okay, so we're going to stay on the Teen Titans. I love this issue. I love the cover. I love that storyline. It is Tales of the Teen Titans, number 44, right? 44. And this right here was the first appearance of Dick Grayson as Nightwing. It is also, for me, it was always... Hey, this is the origin of Deathstroke. And, of course, you've got the origin of Jericho that nobody cares about. But you got beautiful, beautiful George Perez artwork on this. I've got a raw copy of this signed by both Perez and Wolfman that will not get graded. It would end up grading too low, and I don't want to look at that grade and have that as what I see every time I see that book. So I'm going to keep it raw, and I'm happy with that. This was a really nice copy, and I've had several copies of this, and I don't know where I got this, but let's take a look. Oh, yeah, I don't even know what a 9.8 on this is. I knew it was going to be pretty good, but prices on these things have come down over the last couple of years, so it's not as good as it was, say, a couple years ago. But really good. I'll have to be interesting. I'll have to go through my notes and see how much I paid for this. I think I had been paying for some decent copies of this. I was trying to get them on the cheap. A lot of people were trying to sell these in the last couple of years. You'd see these books around $100, maybe as low as $80, up as high as $120. And I kept seeing really decent copies, but you could see the spine ticks over here like crazy. That black picks them up really quickly. And I picked up a couple copies that I thought were better than they were when I first looked at them, and I didn't send them in. But this one right here was one of the most recent ones I'd picked up. Beautiful copy. 9.8, awesome, awesome. Again, we'll put the grades, the prices for this 9.8 and see what the value of this is at this point. This will probably stay in a PC for this point, but you never know. If the price is good, price is right, and somebody wants it, it's always available on my eBay store or in my Shortbox page. Either place, you can always let me know, or you can reach out to me at collectorauctions@yahoo.com. I'm always available. All right, let's take a look at this. I love this. What's nice about this, and I've talked about this before, and you're not going to see this very... Whoop, I got the light right there. You see the white going down the edge. Sorry. Right there. Well, it's a little hard to see. The back cover is white, but it comes around on the front. The wrap is just a little bit on the front. And I love this because you're not going to get a color breaking spine ticks. Now, you'll get breaking spine ticks if the paper is broken, but the color is not going to be broken because it's white. So it covers up any defects like that pretty good. And I love books like that because that's the beauty of this right here. It's a lot easier to work with and hopefully get that better grade. All right. I didn't realize that this was also in the order. It's a book that I have had in at CGC a couple times. In fact, I sent one of these copies in to the George Perez signing, the very last George Perez signing, right before he passed away. Unfortunately, his health went south very quickly at that time, and they ended up giving you the option of just sending the books back or grading them for a blue label instead of a yellow label with a signature, because he was not going to be able to sign them at that point. But I did send in New Teen Titans #1. A book that I had never gotten signed by George Perez or Wolfman, because my copy was a kind of a rundown, beat up copy that I read when it first came out, and I wasn't going to get that signed. I got a lot of Teen Titan books signed by the two of them, a lot of them, but most of them in much better condition than my #1. Now, I had to replace this a couple times. The one I had sent in ended up coming back as, I believe, a 9.6, and a little disappointed on that. But that was several years ago when I was first cleaning and pressing. This one I thought was a very decent copy. I got it from Cards, Comics, and Collectibles a couple years ago at their Thanksgiving Day sale, and thought it was a decent copy. It definitely needed some cleaning. There was white over there, and I also remember the spine having a spine tick that I've worked several times before I finally were able to get it out. And I'll be honest, I don't think this is going to be a 9.8 because that tick over there was having reversion like we talked about before, and I don't know. I'll have to take a quick look after we get the grade here, and we'll see how we did. So here we go. Oh, yes. 9.8, 9.8. I can't believe it. Let's take a quick look at that spot. Yeah, I mean, I did a good job. That spot over there, I don't see it. I mean, I got it out, but I did that once before, and it kind of came back a little bit, and I did it again. Now, the other thing, the reason I didn't think it was going to be a 9.8 is if you look up at the very top, right below my fingers, right at the top edge, you see some ink overrun up there. And that is a printer's defect, and I didn't know how that was going to affect it. But that right there, wow, that's a nice win. I've had some nice wins in this. But now, guys, we are down to my final book. And this is the book I got upcharged on. I was right. I just thought that they put it in the smaller pack to protect it, because this is the valuable book. And this is the one I kind of know, if it's the right book I'm thinking of, I mean, this is going to be a pretty valuable book. I put it into the $400 and under tier, and I do that on purpose a lot of times because I don't want to overpay and then get that lower grade, because if this book drops down to a 9.6, it would have fit perfectly in that 400 range. I mean, it may go over a little bit, but generally the price on this has been fluctuating from maybe 450 down to 300, give or take, and that depends on newsstand or direct. And that's why I put it in that level, figuring that, God forbid, this book bumps up, they can always just raise the price. They can charge me, and that's what they did. They upcharged me on this to take it to the high tier, the high price tier, and I'm excited. I think this is my newsstand copy of this too. So here we go, guys. Yeah. This is it. This is the X-Men first appearance of Gambit newsstand. I picked this up again from Infinity Comics, one of their auctions on hipcomic.com. Man, this was a super nice copy, and I will tell you, I did not overpay for this book. Probably below fair market value for the grade, for the condition this book was in. I thought this was a steal at that price. You go to a show and you see this book on a stand, you're going to pay well north of $200 for a roll on something like this, a newsstand especially, and I did not come close to that. I was getting close, but I did not go over that at all. I don't know the exact price, but I know I didn't overpay. I have to check. Oh, we'll find out. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I know what this is because I got upcharged newsstand. Let's take a look at the first appearance of Gambit here. Yeah, that is awesome, guys. First time I've ever gotten a 9 to 8 on this book. I've gotten 9.6, 9.6 a couple times on some direct versions. I never owned a newsstand. And for my first newsstand, and man, this is a great copy. Wow, let's take a look at this. Yeah, this is really nice. White pages. The wrap, you see my finger right there? You can see the white. The back cover comes around just a little bit. So, not that it had any spine ticks. There were no defects. Although I do see I see one little thing that I would like to fix. Honestly, I would love to open this up and fix that. I see one little spine. It's more of like a little spine tick with definitely not color breaking. I'd love to go back and fix that. But you know what? It's a 9.8. At this point, this book ain't going to get opened up at all. Wow, 9.8. And I can tell you right now that the last I looked up in this, when I saw the price increase, it was going to be, this right here was somewhere around a $1,500, give or take, book. I don't have the exact price, but I think that was one of the most recent sales on this book as a newsstand 9.8. And honestly, this is a book right here that will have to get sold. I would love to keep this in the PC. I love these books. I've got my 9.6 right now in the PC. It's over in my X-Men collection. But 9.6 or a 9.8 on something like this is what helps pay for the hobby. Much as I would love to keep all the home runs and then sell my singles and doubles, a book like this helps pay for a lot of stuff. It helps pay for, let's see, it helps pay for grading on a book like this that shouldn't be graded as 7.5. You know, that right there, and I just said, my wife hates it when I use, you shouldn't do that. This right here is the big loser of today. We'll find out what we have to do. But everything else is pretty much a win. This right here is a grand slam, and we'll cover the cost of this right here. This right here, I'm going to eat. Everything else, for the most part, is a fantastic win. Like I said, a grand slam on this one. All right, guys, that is it. I'm super excited. Now I have to go to work and calm down a little bit. So I'm so glad I was able to do this before I had to go to work. Otherwise, it was going to be tomorrow before I could even break into these things. You guys will have to let me know what you think of the books and the grades. And if you're even interested in any of these books, again, I'm always willing to accept offers and listen to people if they're ever interested in any of the books I have on the channel. Most of the books, a lot of the books will get sold to help pay for the hobby. A lot of them will go into my PC. If you want to check out what I currently have for sale, definitely go to my eBay page. I'll leave that link down below, as well as a link to my Shortbox page. I've got things on there, pretty much the same things for sale as there as well. But you can always contact me on the channel, or you can email me at collectorauctions@yahoo.com. Woo, I'm excited right now. Guys, thank you so much. And if you liked today's episode, definitely hit that like, slap the subscribe, and click on that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any of the episodes like this each and every week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 3 p.m. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a great day, because I know I am. Take care. I'll see you for the next show. Just remember, every comic has a story.